Hi everyone, let's get started with shell command lines. What is shell? I'm glad you asked. See on the taskbar, there's something called iTerm. Clicking there will launch a terminal. Once you've launched iTerm, let's start with something simple. If you want to leave, you can type exit. This will quit the terminal. To launch your terminal, just click back on the app at the bottom. Let's set it to full screen. It'll be easier. What's the use of a terminal? It allows you to send commands to your computer and get the result of that command. It's pretty simple and basic. We have a Unix file system even though we're on Mac OS. This file system is organized a bit like on Windows with other file managers, except that here we're accessing it through the console. For starters, a simple and basic command line, pwd. This command line displays the full path name of the current working directory. This is important because it allows you to know which directory you're in. Now that you know where you are, let's try another command line called ls. It's similar to dir on Windows. ls lists files and directories present within the current working directory. It doesn't display hidden files, but we'll come back to that later on. For now, the most important command line for you to learn is man, M-A-N. Alright? If you type only man, it will ask you, what manual page do you want? So man is a form of online software documentation that allows you to access manuals for all existing command lines. It's your reference for everything. You don't understand something? Man it. Man ls. So ls equals the list of directory contents. As you can see, there's a lot of info here. A synopsis, a description, how to use it, and a list of all available options for ls. Check it out for yourselves. You'll enjoy it. Or not. Don't you dare ask someone for the meaning of a command line without having checked the man first. Understood? And for those of you who want to have a little fun, there's a manual on man. Man. It explains how man works. So remember, if you don't know, ask the man. Moving on. So you now know how to use ls. Reminder, it lists all files. Here is ls with one of its options, ls-l, which lists with more details. On the far left, there's the permissions column for files and directories. Moving to the right, there's the group, in this case, staff. The user, local, timestamps. And on the far right, you have the name column, with names of your files and directories. Here's another option, ls-la, which allows you to also list hidden files. As I've mentioned earlier, as you can see, there are names starting with A. Those are hidden files which you can access with the right permissions. If you type cd, you can change directory. See the example on screen. Example, cd.ssh. Press enter. If you don't know where you are, type pwd. Then if you type ls-l, it'll list everything there is in .ssh. To go back, type cd ... If you type ls-la, there's a directory called dot and another one called ... Dot is the current directory. ... is the one just before. I'm going to give you a couple of other options. As for the rest, you can learn that for yourselves. mkdir, make directory. If you want to know more about mkdir, check the man page. Man mkdir or mkdir. Just so you know, some command lines can be used without options, but I strongly advise you to check the man for each command line. So let's imagine I want to access day 00 -cd d00. pwd, I am indeed in the d00 directory. I want to create a directory with my login, make dir krp, or whichever name you want. ls-la, here it is, it's called krp. There's a D for directory at the beginning of the permissions column. Reminder from left to right, permissions, the user, the group, and the creation date. Let's check out that directory, cd-krp. If we do ls-la, we can see that it's empty except for the dot current directory and dot dot parent directory. If we type in cd dot dot, notice the /krp in the address is gone, and we're back to the d00 directory. pwd users /bocal/d00. Now you know the basic command lines, moving around directories, creating them, knowing where you are, and you know you must use the man. You'll see that if you have a question, staff members will ask if you first check the man first. Another useful command line, rm. Be careful with this one, it can cause serious damages. rm stands for remove. It deletes directories. Check out the manual entry for rm as usual, description, options, etc. Here's a prank your classmates will attempt if you leave your session open. rm-rf recursive and doesn't require confirmation. This will erase everything in the current directory and it's all its subdirectories. You've been warned. Now, if I try rm-krp, it doesn't work. Why? Because it's a directory, not a file. If you read the manual, you'll understand why. So rm-rf -krp, enter. Then ls. As you can see, the krp directory is gone. Don't try and do this with imaginary command lines like un-rm or whatever else. It doesn't work. It's done and gone. That's it for today. We'll go back on this later on and learn how to move around network drives, what they are, what's a symbolic link, etc.